Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Foundation Friday. We're going to be talking about the NYX Born to Glow foundations. I've got mine in two shades, which we're going to swatch on my face, and already I can tell that this one is probably too dark, but we're going to swatch it anyways just to get like a comparison. And this one looks like it might be closer, actually probably the exact match. So this is a naturally radiant foundation, so that already tells me it's probably glowy, it's probably natural, might have like a little bit of a sheer finish. To moisturize my face, I used a water cream that I had gotten from my BoxyCharm, and for primers, I actually want to do something else, using a drugstore primer on one side and a high-end primer on the other side. So of course we're going to do left for drugstore and we're going to do right for high-end, because I really want to see if there is any of a difference. And of course we will use a brush or a sponge. So first shade we're going to swatch is the shade Buff. This is the one that looks like it's closest to my skin, and this is the type of tube. Oh yeah, that definitely looks like my shade already, and it looks full coverage. I only did like a little dab on my finger. And let's do the other shade. See, this one would be really good for my summer shade. And that was in the shade Classic Tan, yeah, because in the summertime, that's usually about what color I turn into. And so this is the closest to my color right now. So we're gonna go in with Buff. Woo! Easy. So I've got the hydrating Wet n Wild primer that I'm going to do on this side. And if you hear some bombs going off in the background, I do live on an army base, and you will hear some training out there. Ooh, it just dripped some on my leg. Hopefully it landed on the towel, which it did. Good. There's a training field that's like right behind my house, and sometimes I'll hear bombs go off all night, but they're just training out there, and sometimes it's annoying and sometimes I get scared that it's gonna hit my house. Now for the right side, we're gonna use the Farsali Liquid Glass Radiant Serum. So you can already tell that the primers I'm using go with the theme of what we're doing, which is glowy, radiant, that sort of type of thing. So, and they both smell really good. That's the one thing I like about these primers. They smell so good. Now, of course, the glass one smells a lot like this medicine I used to take when I was a little kid, and I hated it so much. But as an adult, it's got like a very citrusy kind of smell. Dry off my hands. So it's already set. A little tacky, you can tell. Besides still drying. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this side. My finger and just spreading it over my face. Yeah, so it's definitely kind of runny. It's more on the liquidier side than it is thick. This side we're using a brush, and this side we're gonna be using a sponge. So I'm gonna start with the sponge first on the Farsali side. And Farsali's on the right side. Yeah, I think that was definitely a lot of foundation that I put. I think liquidy kind of goes longer way. Creams kind of get used up really quickly. You can still see a little bit of pink right here. So right off the bat, it's definitely almost full coverage, really. It's very, yeah, I mean, oh yeah, it's more on the fuller coverage side. It's not like, it's not medium, but it's like, it's like leaning more on the fuller coverage side than it is medium. I did use a lot of foundation, so it's probably already at the point where it's buildable to full coverage. But it looks really nice. It definitely has a glow to it. And keep in mind, it's raining outside, it's cloudy, there is no sun whatsoever. So it's just like, this is the glow that I am getting from this foundation, which is really, really nice. And of course, that is on the Farsali side. So now we are gonna go in with the brush and do it on this side. All right, I can already tell I've got better coverage with the brush than with the sponge, which is so weird because I've been using sponges for years since I discovered the sponge. I haven't used the brush since like college or high school. So now I'm really thinking about going back to the whole brushes. This is nice. I have other foundation brushes, but they're bigger at the top. This is the more smaller one that I have. And of course, this is from Tarte. I bought it when it was like on sale or something. Wow. Weirdly enough, I like the coverage from the brush because look, you don't see a lot of pink like you do on this side. It's more sheer in this area, and you can definitely see my freckles a little bit. But on this side, I mean, you can barely see some of the dark spots of my freckles, but you don't see any of the hyperpigmentation, like any of the pink. I don't get really red, but I have a little bit of pink. It's just a natural flush to my skin. So yeah, and this is just on the drugstore prime side with the Wet n Wild primer. I'm starting to think maybe it's just the primer because the foundation did well last week also. Wow. Okay, this foundation is definitely full coverage. Once I've seen the whole face like done, it's definitely full coverage. It looks really good. It's glowing in barely any sunlight. Like seriously, there is no sunlight. It's just straight up clouds. Yesterday was 100% chance of rain. Today is like a little bit of chance of rain. But yeah, it's still really glowy, like full coverage. It looks really good. It doesn't look like there is a difference with like a drugstore primer versus like high-end primer. It looks really good either way. I'm kind of wondering if this would do well without primer. Kind of like how last week we did with and without. This week was a little bit different. So it just looks really good. I don't feel any kind of irritation to my skin or anything like that. This side might use like a little bit of coverage. I'd probably go over it with a brush. But there's no streaking whatsoever because like I said last week, I don't like to rub it. I like to pat my brush. So, and it looks really, really nice. Now we are going to try the concealer, which I'm hoping that I got the right shade in. Really hoping. Alright, so I got my concealer in the shade Natural, and I'm not really sure what to expect. Oh. Ooh. It's like one of those really soft, like, applicators. I guess you gotta squeeze this? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a lot. Okay, so. Oh yeah, that's definitely the right shade. Wow, I like this. It's soft. Ooh. I really like the way it feels too. It's creamy, it's thick, and it's just really smooth. Really smooth. I do feel a little bit of tingling under the eye here right now. I don't know if that's normal. It's like right here. I don't feel on the other side, so that might be like the primer or something like that. So I want to see how full coverage this is. I'm pretty excited. We're going to use a sponge, of course. So let's dab that out. Very nice. It's, you know, when it comes to like glowy, radiant foundation, normally I expect those to be light to medium coverage or medium coverage. And sometimes they're kind of sheer. Sometimes they're not very full coverage, but I'm definitely liking this. And everybody knows NYX is affordable. You know, you can find it pretty much anywhere. And their stuff doesn't smell. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. It doesn't smell. Normally I would smell it while I'm applying it on my face, but you don't smell anything. Like, I'm like kind of blowing it in my nose right now, which you probably shouldn't do. The correct way to smell something is to waft. So yeah, you don't smell anything at all. Let me check the concealer. Nope, nothing. There's no scent, no fragrances or anything like that. Not like Wet n Wild, how it had that really chemically like paint smell. I hated that. I really did hate that so much. Ugh, it was so gross. And even though I've let it oxidize just a little bit, I'm not having any problems with it drying out. So it still looks really nice. Still buildable. Definitely full coverage. Not buildable, blendable. It's still blendable, so it doesn't dry out. But I've heard a really good trick to do whenever your concealer is dried on your face before you're able to blend it. Spray it with some setting spray, and that will activate the concealer and make it wet again, so that way you can go in and blend it. It is so nice. Wow. You can definitely tell it's brightening. It's still glowy, still really radiant looking. Wow. I definitely like that. Definitely full coverage. This is a very full coverage product. It's very easy on the wallet. Trust me. It really wasn't that expensive. It's less. Don't quote me on how much it costs because I really don't remember right now. And I don't want to give you guys like a weird number. So yeah, I'm really liking that. I'm not really sure what kind of powder I'm gonna use, but I'm actually gonna do that off camera. And this time what I plan on doing is not including my eye look, because I'm just gonna be doing a very natural eye look. Alright you guys, I am back and here is the final look. I actually don't have any lashes on and I'm not going to put any mascara on either. I want to give my eyelashes a break, and because I'm actually going to be redoing my extensions this time, I'm actually changing what kind of lashes I do this time. As you can tell, my hair needs to be retouched up as well. The colors, like most of the color did stay, but it's starting to like fade a little bit. Here's the final look. Let me do a little close-up. This foundation looks so good still, and even after, you know, putting on the rest of the products, it didn't grab any of my foundation, which is really good. I love a foundation that doesn't hold on to like my brushes, my sponges, my products. It looks really good, really smooth, really flawless, very full coverage. And yeah, I hope you guys, if you haven't tried this foundation yet, I hope that you guys do try it. I'm starting to realize a lot of foundations that are drugstore are so good. And like, I have been looking at some newer foundations though that I will be adding into my Foundation Friday. And so I hope you guys really stay into that, because I found some really expensive one. Like, oh my gosh. Like, this foundation cost $89. I don't know if I'm really gonna do that, because I buy these foundations with my money. I don't have enough subscribers or enough views to generate any kind of money from YouTube. So everything that I do is bought with my own money. But if you guys really want me to like try these higher end foundations, obviously from a smaller YouTube channel, Please share my videos. If you guys like these Foundation Friday videos, please like them and subscribe them. It really helps me out a lot because I am trying to build my channel, and I promise you, don't worry, I'm not going to be like other beauty gurus out there or other like big YouTubers where they're just so sucked into their fame. Trust me, I don't really care about any of that stuff. I care about making you guys happier and showing and sharing things with you that I really like and hoping that you will like them too. That's always been, my top thing. Like, YouTube is my safe place. This is a place for me to like speak freely. So be expecting more videos like that because it is nearing March 17th, would mark a year since I almost died. And so I will be making a video on that pretty soon. And there is some relevance to it because of this documentary I've watched recently, and it's really shown me things in a different perspective, but at the same time, it was like a really huge reminder. And, I feel like I wish there was a support system like that in the documentary whenever I was going through whatever I was going through. Let's see, I filmed this morning at 10 o'clock and it is 4 o'clock now. So we're just gonna do like a quick check-in on my face. I ate lunch, and so I know some of my lip is probably gone, but so pretty much in my dry areas, that's where the foundation is coming off, which is kind of unusual because this is a more radiance kind of foundation. Kind of weird that it's a little bit drier than it normally is. I don't know. I'll check in with you guys tonight and let you guys know what happened. Alright, you guys, so I am back for a final check-in. It is 10:15 at night, and as you can see, I did have to touch up my nose a little bit, but it's definitely rubbed off again. I don't like that it was transferable, as in, even if I like patted my face with my hands or a napkin, it like transferred. So yeah, I didn't really like that too much. So that is pretty much the end result. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Gotta clean my face now because it's nighttime.